to another edition of Hodge and Podge. How's it going, man?
It's doing great, man.
You want to get into it?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, let's just get right into it then. All right, so the NBA lockout, it's like over day 100 plus, and they've decided to cancel the first 2 weeks of the season.
I think this is going a lot longer. You know?
Yeah, I don't know why they're stopping at 2 weeks.
I felt kind of the same one. I mean, because there's a lot of reports coming out, oh, we're closed. That was probably like 3 weeks ago. Now it's like, you know, they're trying to get the revenue sharing to 50-50. They got, like 53, and the players are saying we're going no-low in 53. I think this is going a while. The small market NBA owners, they're determined to get to a hard salary cap. And
well, they got to get to a place where they can make some money. I mean,
right.
A lot of those teams seems like they're probably the ones not making money. But I just think it's odd that they were like, okay, we're going to cancel the preseason. Okay, now a week later we're going to cancel 2 weeks. I don't really see them getting any. I mean, they're describing it as there's a huge gulf between them.
Right.
They're not getting that close. So why are they pretending? Why don't you knock off a couple months? Like go to halfway or something.
Well, that's what's going to happen. I think the players think they're going to hold out. I think that. I think this isn't, you know, in the NFL, the owners were making money, so they really wanted to settle it because they wanted to make the cash.
I agree.
Here, you have these guys; they're not making any money. They're like, we're going to settle this business model, and we're going to make some money. So we're going to bust. Well, I don't want to say bust the union, but they're going to bring them down. I mean, that's the way they're looking at it.
And I think they've got some other problems because you got a lot of high-profile players that are now signing contracts in Europe and across.
Right.
I mean, that is just your union's just gonna break up at that point, and they're gonna say, look, how come that guy's making $2 million to go play one game and I'm making nothing?
Right. No.
Like, why am I sitting on the sideline?
You know, I still think it's such a shame because I think the NBA really had a kind of a renaissance year last year, and everyone was focused on the Heat, and I was kind of excited about this year, and now it's, you know, they're gonna have to get this worked out.
I still don't think the year's happening at all.
You know, I hate to agree with you, but no, I think that's legitimate. I really do. I think it could happen.
All right, next topic. Obviously, the college football landscape continues to change day by day, week by week, and TCU has now decided to go to the Big 12 instead of the Big East next year.
Have we checked today? I don't know. It could be Big 10 by now, SEC.
No, I think
this is getting out of hand. I think this is really getting out of hand. I think, you know, I'm more of a traditionalist. I mean, we had the same conference all these years, and now, I mean, TCU's in the Big East. Now they say, hey, Big East is breaking up. Syracuse left. I mean. Now everyone's saying, well, let's abandon ship. Texas A&M going to SEC. Let's take their place. I'm really not for this. I think this is really.
So you think it was a bad move by TCU?
I don't know. Actually, well, if I was going to look from their perspective, I'd probably say it's a good move. I think it's a bad move for college football.
Yeah,
and it's definitely a bad move for the Big East because they might not be able to play football. They're losing so many teams.
Yeah. I think it's a great move for TCU to be in the Big 12. I think that's going to really bring them some recognition being in a BCS conference. And I think it's going to be good for the Big 12 because they've now got another Texas team, so they're keeping that kind of regionality to it. So I think it's good. I think from an integrity standpoint, it looks kind of shady. Like now these teams are like, well, I'm in your league, I'm not.
Right.
I'm going to hedge my bets, I'm going to move around. I think
it's not a positive for college football.
Yeah, I think it makes college football look really bad. And now you've got talks about like Boise State going to the Big East, but you know, Boise State didn't they just sign up to be in the WAC or something?
Yeah,
I mean, it's like you can't move conferences every year. It just seems kind of ridiculous.
It is getting kind of ridiculous, but I mean, I think we're going to see more of it because it's all about the money. But you know, again, it's good for them. I just think it's not really good for college football.
It's definitely not going to stop, but in a way, I'm happy to see that the Big 12 is replenishing itself, in a way.
Yeah.
And they. You know, unfortunately, it's another Texas school, but I mean, Texas is a big area. I think it's going to be okay.
Yeah, it's the second biggest state in the union, right?
All right, so a former big college star is getting a start.
Tim Tebow?
I really like to use the name. I'll be honest up front. I don't really like Tim Tebow, so I'm just going to.
Well, how do you don't like? You don't like? I mean, he's a good guy.
Yeah, but I just don't like him. But I mean, he went to Florida. He beat Ohio State. I just don't like him because of that.
So what's your take on him starting the Broncos?
I think it's really sad that the fan base of an organization can dictate who's going to play. I think that management for the Broncos should have been way more. They just should have stayed away from doing this, and it doesn't make sense to me because Brady Quinn was the number 2 quarterback on the depth chart for the whole season. So
they're trying to put people in the seats,
man. I know, but.
What's the old adage? The most popular guy on the football team is a second-string quarterback. I mean,
but he wasn't second string; he was third string.
But de facto,
he goes in but he's the third string.
I think we're going to agree on this, unfortunately. But I like Tim Tebow as a guy. I mean, I think he's a great leader. I actually watched the end of that game when they put him in last week.
You get all revved up.
And he got people revved. He brought him back. But the thing is, when you really look at his stats, he didn't really do that much passing. He did like a screen pass to Moreno. He ran in for a touchdown. I just don't think he has the tools to be a successful NFL quarterback. And I think they're going to figure that out. If you put him in for 5 or 6 games, I think that would be the final decision.
Well, he started, 3 games last year and played a 4th, right? Or a half of
Yeah, but I mean, he needs that extended time.
Well.
You put anybody, it's like Cordell Stewart. Remember the Steelers? They put him in that short little time. They looked like he was going to be the next, the big thing. And then they installed him as a starter next year, and he just never really came to fruition. I think that's what happens with Tim Tebow. But I like him. Honestly, I hope I'm wrong. I hope he succeeds. I just don't.
But at the end of the day, what are they going to do? Because Brady Quinn and Kyle Orton are both free agents.
They're going to have to make a move in the offseason to get a quarterback.
I think they're going to draft somebody.
Get Andrew Luck.
I don't think they'll get Andrew Luck, but I think they'll end up drafting somebody. And I think there's going to be more than one good quarterback coming out next year.
But I'm rooting for him. I hope he does well. I just don't think it's going to happen.
Yeah, I'm not rooting for him. All right, moving on to some baseball topics. So it's been interesting this year. Baseball's kind of been covered. Fox has typically kind of had some baseball stuff going on, and this year TBS and TNT have really gotten into hosting a lot of those games. So what's your take on kind of the coverage, how it's going? Do you like the announcers?
I've never liked the Fox announcers. I've never liked Joe Buck. I've never liked Tim McCarver. Tim McCarver used to know something like 20 years ago. I think time's passed.
He seems a little outdated and a little slow when they're talking.
And I've never liked Joe Buck. I just never got. I get it. Your dad's a famous announcer. He was in St. Louis. You kind of followed his footsteps. But it just seems like, and I'm a big proponent. You see my tweets. I mean, Gary Cohen that does the Mets games. The guy's great. Sign the guy up. He's the best guy. I mean, Vin Scully, Dick Enberg. They're kind of like the living legends. But I mean, anyone who's coming up, I think Gary Cohen's the best. But I'm just really disappointed in the Fox thing. I mean, what's your take?
Yeah, I don't like Joe Buck either. I've never liked him. I don't like him. Football with Aikman, I can't stand him. There's something about him that just makes the whole thing kind of awkward for me. I'd rather just not listen to him. I think from the TBS side, like Ron Darling, I think has been really good.
He's a Mets guy, right? He's on there with Gary Cohen.
I don't know who he is, but I'm just.
If you had the baseball package, you get it.
Yeah,
the baseball package, you
I'll work on it. I'm not a huge baseball fan anyway. But what I did the other day, to be honest,
that's why you're jumping up and down about the Tigers.
I know.
That's a whole different stuff.
I listened to the Tigers game the other day on ESPN radio. Part of it was because I was in the car and stuff like that. But I was listening to that, and I really like Oral Hershiser on there. Like, he really brings a fresh perspective. And I know I watched him a little bit on the Little League World Series, and I've just been really impressed with the way he kind of breaks it down. And he really tells you like how a slider's supposed to kind of go in there, and he just.
He's a former Dodger.
He's a former Dodger. He's good. Yeah, I really like him, and I'd like to see more of him.
Well, he's on. He's on Sunday Baseball.
I know.
He's on Sunday Baseball. The TBS guys, I like Darling. I got Smoltz. I didn't really get the whole. I'm not a big Bob Brenly fan. He does the Cubs games. I watch him some on the satellite. Not a big fan of him. Joe Simpson. I mean, I've just never. He used to do the Braves games. I guess I've never gotten that. I've just never been excited about him.
Yeah.
So I mean, again, I'm going to go back to the old days, right? When you had like Joe Garagiola, Tony Kubek, those guys doing things. They're telling all the stories, the old Yankees, Casey Stengel, Yogi Berra. It made it really great. I think now I just, in general, I'm just not feeling it.
I think my brother-in-law, talking about McCarver, he said he's kind of like getting to be like Harry Carey now. It's kind of like he's just getting up there. He needs to kind of move on.
He knew something 25 years ago. Now the game's kind of passing by.
All right, so we beat that to death. Let's move on to Theo Epstein. Big news, moving to the Cubs to be general manager. I got that right? General manager. Okay, just making sure. What's your take on that?
I don't know if this is a really good move
for him or for the Cubs.
Either. I don't think it's a good move for both. I don't think it's a good move for either. I just think that I think he kind of had it way down on the Red Sox. I think all that money the Red Sox spend can kind of make anybody look like a genius. And I think he goes to the Cubs. The Cubs have some money too. That's true. But I just think I don't know. I mean, he missed with Carl Crawford. He missed with Lackey this year. He paid him big money. Those guys didn't do anything. So now you're the Cubs. You can handle.
But they're blaming that on the drinking chicken wings and the.
I didn't hear about that.
And the video games and the locker room or whatever, clubhouse. They're not even.
What was it? Francona was on medicine for his knee or something.
Yeah. I think it's been a great story with Epstein, and I think what he's been able to do for Boston has been good. If he can do it for the Cubs, I think like you got to put him up there as like the top GM ever, because those are two storied franchises with a history of losing. That to be able to bring that back would be amazing.
If you could win a World Series with the Cubs, I mean, you're going to be the executive of the century.
I just think that's going to be tough. I mean, the Cubs, I just don't see it happening.
Well, it's just they got such a history. I mean, all that. I mean, when they start winning, you think like all that pressure's going to be on them. All that Bartman, the GOAT, all that stuff. The Leon Durham. It's a lot of pressure on. I just don't know if he's going to make like instant impact like he did in Arizona.
Best of luck to him.
Now, who hates the Cubs? We don't really hate